Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today, we are going to do the numerology, Kabbalah, and astrology of February 2021. Today is the 31st of January. Mercury just went retrograde yesterday. And we are facing a February where for most of the month, Mercury is retrograde. And for all of the month, Mercury is in some sort of either retrograde or shadow of its retrograde. So it will be a time of introspection. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. Okay, so as I sit here, we're actually waiting waiting for a nor'easter to come. I'm not sure just how much snow we're going to get, but I thought this was an apropos start for February. Looks like we're going to have a snowy February here. So the first thing we're going to look at is the numerology of February 2021. We're going to, I think, chunk this up, probably do the numerology and the Kabbalah together, and then the astrology separate. There is a lot of astrology, so I want to keep this in increments that are reasonable to sit and listen to. So when we look at the numerology of February, we start with the monthly vibration, which is a 2. And there's a lot that this 2 information that we can get from this 2. And we have to remember that in the year 2000, we moved into a 2 vibration. And so throughout the 2000s, and throughout this millennial, would it be a millennial? We're dealing with the issue of 2. So let's take a look at this. 2 symbolizes all pairs of opposites, the duality in matter, day and night, male and female, positive, negative, black and white. This represents the energy of choice given to man as he enters the earth plane. As man learns to balance the energies of choices from the extremes, he conquers matter. Otherwise, man is controlled by matter in the world of duality. And so we always have a choice as to where we are going to put our energy. And I think that's a very important choice to make, maybe now more than ever. If we look at the universal year vibration, the 5 vibration, 5 is the energy of freedom and change. 5 is the number of progress, for without change, there is stagnation. 5 needs to cultivate patience and tolerance, 2 things that we need to cultivate in 2021. How are we doing so far on that? If we look at the tarot cards associated with these 2 vibrations, the 2 vibration, we have the High Priestess. And we can see in the High Priestess on the left here, the Rider-Waite deck, she sits in front of a tapestry that has pomegranates on it. This connects her to Persephone and the myth of Persephone. We also see the 2 pillars here, one black and one white, symbolizing duality. In fact, the number 2 looks a little like a portal in itself, and we can see that there's a portal here. But there are things hidden behind the tapestry. There are hidden mysteries here. And the only way to really access those mysteries is to look within, to be introspective. And even then, it may not be, it may not be something that you can express to others. It's very much an inward journey. And over here on the right-hand side, we have the High Priestess card, or the Priestess card, with the Thoth deck. The reason I chose this High Priestess is because of this, the veil here, that the High Priestess herself is actually part of the veil. So there is a veiled reference to both of these, a reference of something mysterious, something hidden, that perhaps we can only access with our own intuitive facilities. Of course, the High Priestess is one of the two feminine power cards in the deck. And we can see that we have many symbols. We have the moon here. And we also have her hat. Of course, this is a moon symbol, but this is the Hathor. This is Hathor. This is the hat that Hathor wore. And the Hathors are connected to the sacred cow, as it were, the sacred cow. And of course, she is holding the Torah in her hand, and she has a equal dawn cross over her heart. So let's look. The 5 vibration, the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is considered a card of great wisdom, a need to listen to that small, still voice within. The Hierophant sits between 2 pillars as well, but instead of them being black and white, they are gray. So they're a mixture of gray and white. There is less of perhaps a stark difference, a blending of that, perhaps an understanding of that. If we look at the right-hand side, the Thoth Hierophant card, we can see that we have the bull here, the Taurus bull. Of course, the Hierophant is associated with the sign of Taurus, and we have Uranus in Taurus for 7 years. We can also see here that there's a lot of symbology in this card. We also have the 4 fixed signs. We have Aquarius as the man, Scorpio here as the eagle, Taurus as the bull, and Leo as the Leo as the lion. I know what I'm saying. But there's a lot of symbology in this card. And so there is this deep understanding and mysteries that we can access this year, this 5 vibration. So that is something to consider as well. So if we add the 2 of February and the 5 of 2021, we get a 7 vibration. And this would be considered the vibration for February 2021, as a month and a year. 7 symbolizes a point where spirit and matter meet in consciousness, a cyclical completion, and a time for rest and introspection before the harvest manifests. On the 7th day, God rested. This is the energy of the mystic. It is the time to go within and discover the inner wisdom and the laws of the higher spiritual plane. So this is a particularly introspective time, not that difficult up here in the Northern Hemisphere, in the northern climes of the Northern Hemisphere, where things like snow and cold weather will tend to keep you in, if not introspective. So here we have the Chariot card, which is the card associated with the 7. And here we see, instead of pillars, we see 2 sphinxes, one black and one white, symbolizing the duality that we move into. The Chariot card is really a card associated with souls taking on of a body or a personality, a form. and moving out onto its path, onto the path of its destiny. There is the stars above his head. He has moons on his shoulders here. This card is associated with Cancer. We'll get into this a little bit more. And then over here, this is the Thoth deck. This is the Chariot, and we can see that he's holding a wheel that is spinning. He has it a little different here. It looks like he has the four fixed signs here, the Tetragrammaton, Yod He Vav He, the four fixed signs. And we can see that he has four pillars here, and then the heavens above, the sign for Cancer above his head. And we can't see inside this armor that he has, that he holds, sitting on his chariot, is protection for the soul within. This is the protection of the personality. So the Chariot is associated with the sign of Cancer. Cancer is considered the sign that we all incarnate through. This is why Cancer is associated with the moon. Cancer is associated with the mother. We cannot come into incarnation unless we come through our mother. The Charioteer is the personality holding within itself the portion of the soul that is on the path of incarnation, often associated with being on your path, forward movement, and change. And so even though 7 is an introspective number and a number that requires us to look within and to a certain extent to rest, we are still moving forward. We are getting on our path. We are moving towards our destiny. And that's what that's the promise or the potential for February 2021. So let's look at the Kabbalah of February 2021. And we will look here. The Chariot, the card associated, the 7 vibration, is located right here on the Tree of Life between Bina and Geburah, Saturn and Mars. I believe the primary energy between Saturn and Mars this month, or at least at the beginning of the month, is a first quarter crisis in action square to Saturn. I believe it's still within orb at the beginning of the month. So crisis in action, movement forward. So there's a lot of movement. And yet there's also a lot of stillness with this month. The Chariot is found on the path that mediates between Bina, this black Sephiroth here, and understanding, which means understanding, and Geburah, which means severity, called the intelligence of the house of influence. In the physical body, we are the act, the actor, and the means of action. This is called the intelligence of the house of influence. The mystery here is that form acts as a limitation, but it is not. It is protection. Form is the ring past naught, a finite field of activity in which the force of spirit resides. New force will dissolve old forms. This is the creative process and you are the creative force. So this is a time of breaking down of old forms. This is also a time of creating new forms. And while we are in this internal mystical vibration of 7, we still move forward on the path. The Hebrew letter associated with the Chariot is Keth. It's not said that way. Cheth. I don't know how to say Hebrew letters, sorry. Meaning field or fence. There's a sense of limitation here with this fence, or a field of experience, or a field of expertise, or a theater in a way, a theater. The astrological association with this card is Cancer. This path is found within the pillar of severity. In the Kabbalah, there are 3 pillars. There is the feminine, or the pillar of severity, or the pillar of the future. There is the central pillar, the pillar of transformation, and then there is the pillar of mercy, or the pillar of the past. This is masculine, this is feminine, and this is androgyny. This is the balance and the blending of the masculine and the feminine. This path is found within the pillar of severity, the feminine pillar, and the pillar of the future. It is time to clear out, see clearly, begin with new energy, take responsibility for your present condition. It is time to move beyond the past, seek deeper meanings within yourself, and act on the basis of your own deep internal messages. Although your choices may seem radical, they are not impulsive nor irrational. They have come about through your own internal process of introspection and meditation. A lot of the information that I get, that I write here, are from 2 sources. One is Numerology by Jean, which I've shared with you before, and the other one is Tarot of the Spirit. Here we go, by Pamela Ekins. Fabulous, fabulous book. Fabulous Death, Tarot of the Spirit. And this is the Numerology book that I get a lot of my information from. Numerology by Jean, Spiritual Light Vibrations. In case you were wondering. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so let's look at the chakras and the chakras that are activated, because one of the things you can do with the Tree of Life is that you can overlay the chakra system on it, as we have here, called the 7 gates on the Kabbalah. The Tree of Life aligned with the chakras. So the chakras activated on this path, this being the path right here, this is the Chariot, the path of the Chariot, are the 3rd eye and throat chakras. Seeing clearly and speaking clearly. Can you express it? Vision, 3rd eye, aligns with the power of co-creation, the throat. Light, 3rd eye, and vibration, throat, meet to co-create the future. So it's especially important where what you're saying, where you're putting your energy, what you're focusing on, focusing from the inside, and then speaking from your vision, speaking from the light, speaking your truth, co-creating through vibration with the universe. This is a powerful, powerful time. Don't waste it talking about nonsense or arguing with people that may never see your point of view because they are too ensconced in their own. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to get to the astrology of 2020. I'm going to do that in a separate video. So I hope you enjoyed this little numerology and Kabbalah exercise for February 2021. I am going to be doing a Kabbalah class this month, February, an introduction on how I use the Tree of Life and such. That will most likely be a 6-week class. And I'm thinking of starting it on the new moon in Aquarius. So, and that's on the 11th. So, or around about the 11th. So I will let you know, because I know a lot of people are really interested in that from me. So if you enjoy this and you would like to donate, I do put a lot of time into these, which of course many of you say, oh, I can't believe how much time you put into things. I do it so that I can share my perspective, my knowledge perhaps, with as many people as I can. And I do it with great love. And just you guys watching it helps me, because it puts the energy out there, it puts the focus out there that needs to be done to help us move through this very um, tumultuous time. This is a great time of change, but we are the change and we are the change makers. And we can't just sit back and watch other people do stuff. We have to figure out what it is that we're here to do. And hopefully this kind of information helps. So if you'd like to donate, there is a donation there is a link for donations below. Thank you very much in advance. And I will be back with the astrology of February 2021. Be right back.